Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let's talk about typing quotation marks and apostrophes on your Mac. Now, typing quotation marks or apostrophes on your Mac is probably something you haven't thought much about. But watch what happens when I type some. I'm just going to type something pretty simple like that. And all I did to type the quotation marks was to use the Shift key and the key just to the left of the return on US keyboards. But notice here how the first time I did it, it gave me a character that looks like this. And the second time I did it, it gave me a character that looks like this. They are actually two different characters, a left double quote and a right double quote. These are called curly quotes. And if you look here at the first line, you'll see two different kinds of double curly quotes. That's two little marks to the left and two little marks to the right. These are different than what are called straight quotes, which are straight up and down and are the same whether they're on the left side of words or the right side of words. In addition, you've also got single quotes. So you have a single left curly quote and a single right curly quote. You also have straight single quotes like this. And these single quotes, they look a lot like apostrophes. And in fact, they're the same character. And you can have either a curved one, which is the same as the right single curly quote, but you can also have a straight one. So what's going on here? That I can type a double quote like this, and then with the same key on the keyboard, I get a different kind of character on the other side. This is what's called smart quotes. So you're typing the same thing, but the app you're using is recognizing that one of these things has a letter to the right of it, and another has a letter to the left of it. And it's giving you different characters in those two different situations. And the same is true for single quotes. So the same key, but without the shift, you get two different characters. And then when you use an apostrophe like this, it's using that right single quote there. It recognizes that between two letters, it's an apostrophe, and it's going to curve it that way. However, this is functionality you could turn off if you like. If you go to the edit menu in most apps and you go down to substitutions, look for smart quotes. If you turn that off, then when you type, notice that you get straight double or single quotes and straight apostrophes. So it's just a feature of the software. It's nothing special that your keyboard is doing. And it's going to vary per app. Some apps may not use smart quotes at all. In this case, in Pages here, we saw that you can change it by going to Edit and then Substitutions, and you've got it right here. You also have it in some apps, like in Pages, under Settings. If you go in Pages Settings to Auto Correction, you'll find a checkbox here, Use Smart Quotes and Dashes. If you turn that off, it will actually switch off this check mark here in Edit Substitutions. So they're the same setting. Here we could see in Text Edit, you also have under Edit Substitutions the Smart Quotes option, and you have in Text Edit Settings, you've got that right here as well. In Safari, you won't find it in Settings, but you will find it in the Edit menu under Substitutions, as long as the page you're on actually has a text input field. So if the app has neither a setting nor something in the Edit menu for this, you could go to System Settings and then look there for Keyboard, and then go to Input Sources and Edit and select all input sources here. And you'll find a setting for smart quotes right here. That's the system-wide setting. So an app can override this, but if the app has no setting for it, it should follow this. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You could read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now, if you'd rather type these characters on your own, you can. In Pages here, I'm going to go to Edit Substitutions, and I'm going to turn off Smart Quotes. So now if I type, you can see it's not using them. However, I can manually enter those characters using Option and then the left square bracket. like that. And then I could type what I want and then use Option and then Shift and the left square bracket for the other side. Likewise, for a single quote, I can do Option and the right square bracket and then Option Shift and the right square bracket there. Now, you may be wondering if there's a way to do the opposite. If you've got substitutions smart quotes turned on, then you're going to get the curly quotes no matter what. But you can get straight quotes if you work at it. There are a few different ways. One is to type and you get the curly quote and then immediately do Command Z for undo. That gives you the straight quote. Then you have to go and use the forward arrow to go to the next character and start typing. And then if I try to do the right quote, look what happens. You could see it made the left quote curly, but a quick Command Z will undo it. So by working with Command Z, you can usually get the straight quotes, but you could also copy and paste. I could copy this straight double quote here and type like that. And if I paste the straight quote over the curly quote, then it usually works. Although you can see sometimes it really tries to force it in there. A Command Z will undo it or just pasting it again. There's another way to do it though. Instead of just typing Shift and the quote key like that, use the Control key as well. Control, Shift, and then quote gives you straight quotes. And then start typing. And then remember Control, Shift, and then the double quotes again. And that usually gives you the straight quotes, either for double quotes or single quotes. And the same thing for apostrophes. Just typing here will give me the curved one since I have smart quotes turned on, but Control and then that same quote key there will give me the straight apostrophe. But you got to kind of keep your eye on it. And if it does the wrong thing, you just try again. Now, there's an interesting function to note in Edit and Substitutions. If you choose Show Substitutions here in Pages, you get this little controller here. And what you can do with this, there's a Replace All button. So you can retroactively go back in your document and replace all the straight quotes with curly quotes. You don't have to do it manually one by one. So here I'm going to click Replace All, and you can see how it fixes everything. I'll undo here, and let's just make this selection here. And you see how I could go here and replace in selection only. So it leaves this one alone. You can also fine-tune things. You may have noticed in System Settings here, under Keyboard, and then also in Input Sources, you've got for double quotes and for single quotes, and you can choose from a variety of different options. Many of these are the common way to do double and single quotes in different languages. You have these choices here. You also have straight quotes as the last option. So for instance, if I wanted all double quotes to be straight, but all single quotes, including apostrophes, to be curved, I could choose one and then the other here. Or more likely, you want to do it in the app. So in Pages here, I can go to Settings, and under Auto Correction, I could set double quotes to be curved, but single quotes to be straight. So now when I type, I get the curved double quotes and I get the straight single quotes. But note that apostrophes will still be curved. A few other tips. One is that if you use the emoji and special character viewer, either with the globe key and E or Control Command Space, then if you search for quote, you'll find a variety of different kinds of quotes that you could use here. So for instance, if you wanted to do something really cool with these big quotes like that, then you certainly could do that. Another reason you may want to use these straight single and double quotes is for representing math things. Like for instance, if you wanted to say 10 feet 5 inches, you may not want the curly quotes there. You may want to have the straight ones. I'm going to do Control and then the quote key for a straight one, and then Shift Control for that. And that's true for other math uses as well. But probably the main reason you want to use straight double and single quotes is when you're coding or showing code in a document. As a matter of fact, it's a big problem when you see example code online and you copy and paste it. If the quotes are curved typically that gives you an error message, whether you're doing HTML or Swift or Java or whatever, and you want the straight quote. So when you're producing documents with computer code in them, you want to make sure that the computer code uses the proper straight, single, and double quotes, not the curved quotes you would use when writing regular text. Also note there's another key on your keyboard that seems to be similar to an apostrophe. It's the backtick. This is the key on US keyboards that's right above the tab key. The backtick is sometimes used in computer code, but it's not an apostrophe or a single quote, even a left single quote. The proper left single quote is typed with the regular quote key and then something, and then the regular quote key like that. As you can see, the backtick is not either a curved quote, straight quote, or apostrophe. It's a totally different character that you usually don't use when writing. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Want to know about every new MACMOST video each week? Sign up for the absolutely free MACMOST email newsletter at macmost.com/newsletter.